Thanks for tuning in again. I'm Steve.
I'm Lynn.
And this is our bike shop. All right. So just a couple of topics tonight. Probably a little shorter than the last couple. So I think the first couple episodes are a little longer because we had just started doing them. So there's lots to talk about. So
yeah.
Anyway, so tonight, mostly what we want to talk about is custom builds and what we do with custom builds. And I guess really what that means, because some people don't maybe always know what that means, a custom built bike. First start off with something kind of interesting. So on our website, under the About, says where we got the name Maklin from. Okay, so, but it doesn't tell you how to pronounce it. So it's pronounced Maklin. And so our last name is Hamlin.
My maiden name is Makala. So then we took Makala and Hamlin and put it together to form Maklin.
Yeah. So you get the M-A-K and the L-I-N, Maklin. So that's where it comes from. So anyway, that's how you pronounce Maklin.
We've had a few questions about it, and people mispronounce it a little bit, but anyways.
Good stuff. So anyway, custom built bikes. So we're not doing like custom frames here or anything like that, but so the brands that we carry in our shop are Niner, Cervelo, we have Jamis now, we have Salsa, and then I feel like, and Bianchi. Mm-hmm. So we're just getting started with Bianchi. So we haven't done any custom builds yet on the Bianchi stuff, and actually, I think we only have like a couple bikes in here getting started. We're still waiting on like our 24 orders. So, but it's actually very common for us to do custom stuff with the Niner bikes. And we really like working with the Niner frames. We really like, in general, the Niner gravel bike is fantastic. It has a ton of versatility. It's pretty easy to fit on most people. And then the mountain bikes too. We really like their mountain bikes. And we've done some custom Cervelo stuff as well. But we more often than not we're doing at least swapping something out. So a custom built bike might mean that we're just going to put a different crank in it, for instance, right? So like when you order a bike stock from the manufacturer, they're getting their parts kits and whatnot, and most brands are built in Asia somewhere. Niner's actually built here in the shop. So we get, we order different bikes and builds. We get the frame and we get the parts kits with it, and then we do the builds here. So it actually makes it a little bit more conducive to us actually doing some customization on those builds for customers. The other thing we like about that brand is when you get one of the Niner bikes, especially some of the full suspension mountain bikes, when you get into some of the 3-4 star builds, you might get a bike that's spec'd closer to what you would probably spec if you built it. So you might get a race face handlebar like on a 4-star XT build. You're not getting a Shimano crank, you're getting a carbon race face crank, and those types of things. And then let's say if you're going to order a 50 centimeter gravel frame, a lot of those bikes come stock with 170 cranks, but very common that we've done a credit back, pull the 170 out, and we put a 165 in, or we put the 165 with a power meter. And when we're doing that here with our builds, it's definitely cheaper to do that up front while we're doing the build. So a lot of times when you come to our shop, or if you see on our website, you'll see builds, but that's not the only build we can get for you on that. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll order a size run of a bike. So for our LT frames, we have pretty much a whole size run of frames in here, but we may order them in different build specs so that you may have on our floor, we see a 53 frame with a 3-star electronic shift build, but maybe you want the 2-star mechanical build. We'll usually have that parts kit here because we've ordered those bikes in different build kits. Same deal with the mountain bikes. Like here's a dig this color. Love the this is the Niner Rip, and this is a new color for this year. Yeah, it's awesome. So I've been riding a Rip, absolutely love it. I think maybe the last 3 summers.
Think so?
Yeah, I had a 27 and a half. I like 29s. Got a 29 after that, and I kind of I don't want to give it up. So usually we flip our demo bikes, and I haven't on that one yet.
So Steve, explain. So the frame comes separate, and then you open the box, and what else is in the box?
Yeah, so this is basically, we ordered this frame in particular as a 2-star build, but we can do what we want with it. So I have 3-star builds here, and we have 4-star builds. So I can make this what we want. So we'll pull the rear shock off of it. We put the shock that comes in a 3-star. But yeah, so like if you're ordering a 9er, and what they'll do is the bike will come in and they'll have the bottom bracket in it and the crank in. We usually pull them out in one because we just like to make sure that they're installed correctly. At least we do it on these bikes because I think they put them in more for shipping ease. They kind of kit them up out in a warehouse in California and then ship them out to us. But the rest of the parts are basically in a box. But does that,
Yep.
was it kind of answering that?
Yep.
And if you look off over to here to my left, I guess you're right, you can see on our parts wall, we'll start laying out our parts kits for our bikes. We weren't very good about it in the past. So we weren't very good about promoting or I guess marketing that we were doing this. It was kind of more word of mouth when you're in the shop and looking at a bike, trying to do some fit and seeing what we're going to put somebody on. But this year we decided to put all these parts kits up and the forks and stuff for these bikes up there, and it makes it a little more obvious that we're doing this. So,
but now those parts kits they're not on the website. They're not you can't go and check to see what parts kits that we have.
Yeah, they're technically in inventory as a bike.
The bike,
right? So there's a 2-star parts kit with this, but
just reach out and we can certainly talk about options.
And actually, some of the things that is pretty common, the 3-star 9er build that's probably our most common build, right?
Yep.
And then there's some interesting things that we can do too. So we can take a 2-star bike and we'll swap the drivetrain out. In fact, actually, you put a new order in today for the 9er has their own wheels that come on 2-star builds. You can actually get an XD driver for them. It's pretty cheap too. So we can easily take a 2-star build, and you actually get nice shocks on it to begin with, and put a 3-star drivetrain on it. So put your GX stuff on it, and I think we can do it for pretty similar cost, even better. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we have a lot of freedom with these bikes and what we can do with them. So
and then one thing I want to mention too, that if you're looking for a 9er frame, and let's say it's part of an actual physical bike that we have in the store.
Well, if you want a frame quick, we can get you this frame.
Yeah.
We'll just order another one to replace it.
Yeah, but in the past, somebody's I'm only looking for a frame, but this is part of a bike that's in the store. We can take those parts off and then certainly sell you the frame, since we obviously do a lot of custom.
Or we might have the frame hanging up and it just hasn't been built yet. So
true.
Yeah, last year we had somebody who was in a jam. They broke a frame, and we had one here. It was built into a bike.
Yeah.
And we were able to strip it down for him and get him the frame.
Yep.
So I forgot about that. And then we've got this is the topic this week because this bike, this RLT, is getting built up tomorrow, and it's getting built up with 12-speed Shimano GRX stuff. And if you looked on 9er's website, they don't have that.
No.
So
no.
They still have parts kits from COVID supply chain stuff stacked up with some of the 11-speed stuff. And so if you go on 9er's website and you want a Shimano 2x build, it's going to be in 11-speed stuff. So we got a frame. We're building it up. We're building a 2x 12-speed GRX tomorrow with it. So like I said, we can get you what you want on it, and it's fun. This is probably actually this is what I enjoy the most, and I like putting bikes together. So we do lots of service. I like the service where it's some troubleshooting, but my favorite is building different bikes. So Anyway, that kind of covers.
And then I think you're gonna grab a steel frame.
Yeah, we've got steel frames sitting over here too. So we were. This one's gonna get. I think we're gonna build this up into a touring frame. So gravel bike, kind of set up to do some touring, whether that's gravel or road. But these frames ride really, really, really nice. So if you were to come in the shop right now, you'll see frames hanging around. Again, another thing we weren't very good at. We used to leave them in the boxes, but
Found a way to hang them on the sales floor too.
yeah, it's one of those things that you know, we're pretty good with bikes. We ride them. We like riding them, but maybe, you know, the marketing end of it so is needed some work. So which is okay. So primary, we need to be good at bikes first, and then figure out the marketing later. But
All right, so did you cover all of the custom build
yeah,
topic?
that one's getting.
Oh yeah, and then the handlebars
Yeah.
for the RT.
This is just sitting here, but I like this the Easton handlebar. It's pretty good. So I've been riding that on my gravel bike. This is the new Ergo one. So this one's going on the new build. But we had said this was going to be a little bit shorter, and we're already 11 or 12 minutes in. So we might just
I say save the other topics for next
skip
time.
the other topics. So
Stay tuned for next week.
but yeah, anyway, if you want something cool built up, let us know. We can take a stock bike, and it's a matter of, we can just swap handlebars off the thing and you know, wheels. In fact, actually, the customer that we're building this for, they actually already have a couple sets of gravel wheels, so we're building it up with their existing wheels that they already own. So yeah, lots of cool stuff we can do.
Lots of options.
So yeah, anyway, pretty cool. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Later.